This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast. You got talking, you got good talking voice on.
I do.
Thank you.
I do have good talking voice. I mean, do you want our like real good voices?
Yeah, real good voice.
It's my real good voice. Good morning, baby.
Morning, honey.
You had several topics. You had so many topics that you were like, and what do you want to talk about?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the topics that I will want to talk about will come right from the things you want to bring up. But
can we talk about wheel of consent?
Yes.
The art of giving and receiving and
receiving and giving. I love that they put it first.
The art of receiving and giving and the Like a Pro workshop that I just attended.
Trey just went to his second Like a Pro workshop. Shout out to all our friends in the biz. And he went solo. And yeah, can I just praise you for a second?
Sure.
Okay. Especially because we've had certain podcast audience members, be like, Trey's always in the hot seat. He triggers Lauren. She cries and then blah, blah, blah.
I don't agree with that.
Listen, Trey's a big boy and I do love him. And I am very proud of him. But guess what? That doesn't get as much traction as the episodes where I cry. He apologizes. So I am so proud of him. I am so proud of you. I am so turned on by your growth, your curiosity, your expansion in this season. I was telling you the other day that it's being noticed not only by me, but by Uncle Jay, by the baby, by friends, by Wednesday S. Several people are noticing your growth, and I get to have the front row seat to. Some of it is a result of the wing clipping moment, sure, but some of it is stuff you already had planned. You've had this Like a Pro training on the schedule since last fall. No. Yeah, I mean, you signed up whenever, as soon as it was available. Yeah. And so this happens to be coinciding with this recent season of growth. But it's not because of it, and it's not in reaction to it. You did this proactively out of pure desire to grow and learn. And anyway, so I'm just getting to witness it. And you have said on this podcast and also to me in conversation of, I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to hold you back. I don't want you to... You've said lots of versions of that. And I have consistently told you, for me, how I'm made... that would only happen if you became stagnant, you became uninterested in becoming and traveling alongside of me and learning what is yours to learn. Like it could be about surfing and I would still be just as intrigued because you'd be growing and stretching and becoming.
Thank you, Annie.
So anyway, I've been loving my front row seat. I get to grill you on all of my questions in the car on Monday. But yeah, I'd love to hear about your experience. I'd love to hear even why you wanted to bring it up on the podcast.
Before we do that, I have to put the trash on the curb after this episode. Or should I do it now?
You should do it now because we get a whole juicy hour to talk today and you might miss it.
Great.
Okay, pause, gentle audience. We shall return.
And we're back.
We back.
Trash is on the curb.
All is well. We're just two humans.
Shit, we could just start over
in our
too.
Guest bedroom.
We could start over also. Professional podcast studios. This is professional podcasting. Okay, Wheel of Consent was fucking awesome. Strongly recommend the book.
Strongly recommend. I mean, if we had a list of Lauren and Trey's most recommended reads, I do believe The Wheel of Consent would be at the top. The art of receiving and giving.
It would be in the top tier. It would be in my what is it?
I mean, your top 5?
What's the one with the presidents on the...
Your Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
Everything's starting to... Anyway, continue on your story of how...
Well, we're not going to talk about how they own slaves?
Yeah,
Probably not.
We're just not going to talk about our United States Mount Rushmore being the thing that we should reference. Anyway.
Bad, presidents, bad...
We're just not really loving on those white dudes right now. So continue in what Like a Pro was to you. Poor analogy.
Trey's usually good if we could just have those guys back, just with their minus the slavery, but just with their anyway. We should start over.
Just continue.
Let's start.
There's going to be no helpful
no
bits
one's
for our
listening
Wheel of
to this.
Consent folks. They
No
are.
one's listening
They are.
to
They
this.
love it when we go off the rails.
No.
But I do want to know. I really do.
Okay, Wheel of Consent training. It was Robin and Carmen, Robin Dawes and Carmen Leilani, and they were the main facilitators. And shout out to Jax and shout out to, I don't know if I have her permission, so shout out to our other lovely C as far as facilitating assistance. Yeah, it was great. This is my second time around, and I did it a year and a half ago, and I did not know the wheel nearly as well as I know it now. What it is, if you've never heard of the Wheel of Consent and the quadrants, it's how to communicate. It's how to communicate verbally and non-verbally through touch, and it's how to ask for what you want, which is one of the scariest fucking things in the world. And then it's to stay within your limits and respect someone else's limits. So, secrecy. Secrecy is usually where there's a detriment to someone else, or there's a consequence or something negative. If I break somebody's window and I ask you to keep it secret, the person whose window is broken they got a broken window. There's no secrecy in this work that I've found yet. Mm-hmm. I'm always looking for what's being asked to keep secret, and I haven't found it yet. I haven't found it reading it. I'm on my fourth pass in the book. This is my second class. I've done a lot of work with the Wheel and the School of Consent. Haven't found it yet. Still looking, and I'll let you know. So it's beautiful. I strongly recommend it. It's a 5-day training. It is 10 to 6 with like spacious breaks, and it's done. Participation looks like a lot of different things. So if you need to step out, if you need to take a nap, it's not only allowed, it's like celebrated, where it's not tolerated or it's not held against you, and it's pretty fucking edgy, where most of our existence in meetings have been pay attention. And I was like, what if I don't want to pay attention? I was like, well, you're going to be in trouble, so you're not in trouble for this. So participation looks like many different things. So it is awesome, and yeah, I love it. And this is my third like group setting in person and Zoom with Carmen and Robin being the facilitators. So I have had a genuine thought of, does Dr. Betty Martin actually exist? That has honestly crossed my mind of like, are they goofing on me?
Is that the secret?
That's the secret. She's Oz.
As a person who has met her in the flesh last summer.
According to you.
True. I could be in on the conspiracy.
You could be in on it too. And a bunch of ladies tricking me. Why is that?
Trey's like erotically turned on.
No, I'm not. No, there's a strict power dynamic. I am not. No.
Oh, yeah. What was it like? We also just completed, speaking of your third container with those instructors, we just completed a group facilitation course led by those two.
Correct.
And I was curious if it was wild to like know that much more about how they facilitate, the way they facilitate. The whole reason we took the facilitation course is we were enamored with how much spaciousness was in the first Leica Pro. It felt so good in the body. It didn't feel like traditional learning settings where there's this element of forcing and tolerating and enduring, and you got to show up and you got to grind. And if you're going to get all this learning, you have to do this. There's an ease, a gentleness to this learning structure, wherein I also still took in so much information at the first Leica Pro. Like I came back buzzing with knowledge and growth, and yet not a burnout nervous system, which is one of the first times I've been in a 5-day immersive training where I haven't had so much brain fatigue.
Correct.
Tired at the end, of course.
You still get satiated at the end of the day. You still get touched out. You still get thought out, like emotional. Mm-hmm. It's, like talk about like earning your rest.
Yeah. So back to my original question, which I lost in the plot. How did it feel to do a training after you had just done a training on training.
Funny. Great. And to your kind of like question comment of how they do it, what blew my mind during, what was our Zoom training called?
Working with groups.
Yes, with working with groups was the concept of urgency versus spaciousness, which I've probably spouted it off on this thing a couple of times at this point, where they really install spaciousness. And in order to learn anything well, I'm learning that you actually need spaciousness versus urgency. Yeah, there it is.
Period.
Correct. So that's been up my craw lately.
Yeah. Oh, I've been using it all the time too. I mean, I'm using it with most every single client session, this idea of what could we do to create more spaciousness in this?
First, like a pro a year and a half ago, once I saw like 5 days was like 6 to 8 hours a day, it's like, huh? What are you talking about? You can't, are they not good at teaching? That was my thought. And it's like, no, this is exactly how much time this work needs. If we're going to do it this way, we could try to cram all this shit in if you want to, but it's going to be different. So I get it.
Isn't that so awesome? We're just so cool and expansive because, yeah, I mean, the audience might remember, and I can link it below, but that when you first took the first Like a Pro, I mean, you declared on the first day, I might leave, right? We're staying in a gorgeous Airbnb by the water. I don't know if I want to be shut up in a room for 5 days with all of you people that I don't know.
It was September in Old Town Alexandria. I was like, I could be drinking Coronas and eating calamari looking at the water.
Yeah. Why would I be doing this for 5 days?
And also, I brought into the room a lot of suspiciousness and a lot of like, because the last time I was in a room like this was very detrimental.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's healthy. I celebrate, and actually, you know what? I'll speak for them. I think they would celebrate bringing suspiciousness, bringing it however you want to show up in the room, bring it on in. And then we'll let you know what's like acceptable and what's not. And there's a wide range of things that are acceptable and a few things that aren't. And then like justice and accountability happens in the group, which is something that was missing. From the last time that we were in a space like that. That happens in the group.
The art of collective repair, my friends, is beautifully modeled and expected and coached through in a space like that. And it's how I received training and how I was naive to think that everyone who was in spaces that involved consent work and communication work and touch work and, you know, on the edges of sexuality and expression, I mistakenly thought that that's how everyone practiced. And we had to find out the hard way that that was not a skill that all people possess. And you can go back to that podcast if you want to, but I'd like to not revisit that if that's okay right now. I was so proud of you, and I was so proud of you for doing it completely of your own desire and completely without me, and just so beautiful. I loved bragging about that's where you were all week. That's where I kept telling everybody. People probably like, we don't care.
The other dynamic was that Lauren was here with the flu.
Yeah.
And so for me, I needed to let you know that if you want,
good job.
If you desire, like want is very important in this house of like, that's top shelf. If you want me to come home, I'll be there in 3 fucking hours. Yep. I'll leave this at any time. And, I was reassured when you communicated with me that like, hey, it's this type of flu. I don't feel we got sick a couple of years ago and it was bad. And Lauren said like, I don't feel that way at all. I have these symptoms. I've got resources. I have things, and I'm good. And I was just like, please let me know if things change, because I will come home. And
I kept telling you on the phone that I kind of thought it was oddly lovely because one of our dynamics that we struggle against is this princess in the tower idea, that Trey is an amazing service provider and I'm the princess in the tower who needs taken care of. And the flu is everywhere. I'm sure it's in your communities as well. And the baby got it a couple weeks ago. We thought we got through without it.
I was sick a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming home from New York this last time, I could feel the tingle in my throat, and I was like, but when we got off the train, the flowers were in bloom everywhere. I was like, I bet this is just allergies taking over. I'm sure I'll be fine. And so then I woke up on the second day of Trey being gone and had a small low-grade fever. And because I see people in person, I was like, I need to flu test because that's not, or a COVID test. I need to make sure I don't just have allergies. And sure enough, flu B, just like the baby.
Yep.
And so it was rough in that the fatigue, the body aches, the fever, the brain fog that everyone knows so well from a flu, but it was not at all what we had at Christmas a couple of years ago, which was definitely a flu A and was definitely one of the horrible strains. And so it was really actually beautiful and empowering too. I canceled my whole 2 days. I don't remember the last time I've done that.
That was another thing. And I was like, yay. I really celebrated.
My clients were so, so compassionate. Thank you all. And I placed big DoorDash orders and got myself all set up with all the bone broth and all the turmeric shots and a whole regimen of things that I would be taking, so much water, and some television programs. That's what I called them, programs. They had to have they had to fit a certain like criteria because they couldn't be that good. They needed to be kind of shitty, wherein I could double tack or zone out. You know that feeling when you're sick, you can't really pay attention to a good program?
It's like a sloppy Joe.
It does. It needs to do the job. And I don't want to watch a good program when Trey's gone. So I needed a television program, and it kept me in bed, sure enough.
Yeah.
I had to finish my programs. I finished an entire show on Thursday and then an entire show on Friday. I don't remember the last time I've done that. Probably when I was sick.
It violates our relationship agreement if you're watching good programs without me.
Programs. I just love seeing programs. Anyway, it worked. It worked. And then by Saturday, I felt fantastic. So that was a 2-day kicker. So it's pretty impressive.
Cool thing also, we test. So we test for COVID.
Yeah, you guys do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we test for COVID. We don't test for flu A, flu B.
But was it in the test that you did or no?
Yeah, the first one actually. Second one, it was just COVID, but like we test day 1, day 3.
Yeah. So you got to know that you were again, it flew. So I'm like, how did I get it and Trey not get it? We were in all exact same places, but whatevs. Immune system, perhaps. Anyway, you did a good job you put an offer out there. You said, I will trust you to communicate. I'm not going to martyr and leave this training that I was so excited about and rush home to you and be your savior. Not going to do that.
The irony is that's what we work on. Like putting a request out there, making an offer, and not, mind reading or trying to mind read or overserve. Yep.
That's why I thought it was so cool.
Which, boy, oh boy, my muscle is strong there.
You are.
Service, yeah.
And so I thought it was really beautiful. And I had to say, yes, I promise. Like, I am not going to let this go downhill.
I threatened her over Zoom, too. I threatened her. That's one of the things we learned in the training.
Oh, how to threaten. How to appropriately threaten.
How to kindly threaten.
Yeah, no, I was okay and proud of myself for how well I was taking care of myself too. And we've all been sick. So like where you really want your mom, who mine is dead, yours is dead. So like couldn't be calling that. But it was not that kind of sick. It was not like, oh no, I'm so bad here. No, I had everything I needed. I just needed to lay low. And I did. And then you did come home early on Sunday. That was really sweet. Because you were saturated. You had reached completeness. You were complete. And, and we were getting tornadoes here.
Okay, so this is important. I left training at lunch on Sunday. It was supposed to be over at 6, and I think I left at 1. And it was scary I literally went through all the things of, are they going to think less of me? Is this going to affect my status in the future? I even did a check and I was like, am I angry about something? Like usually when I leave something, I'm uncomfortable and I'm angry. I was saturated. There was weather at play. We had tornado warnings, at least in DC, We're on the East Coast.
We had them in Virginia too.
We had them in
yeah,
Virginia.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't see any, but like they were up there. Well, I guess that's fucking Virginia. Whatever. Okay, this ain't Google Maps podcast. But I felt the pull to like, I want to get on the road. I don't want to drive at night. I don't want to drive in the rain. I want to get on the road. I am thought out. I don't have any more thoughts and feelings and touches. I gotta go. But like, also at the same time, it would have been lovely to stay. Yeah. It was sad. I walked into the room feeling a sense of sadness because this had been my reality, our collective reality for 4 days. That was day 5. And I loved the Airbnb, and I loved Chapel Hill where the training was at. I loved driving around. I loved the farm where it was at. The people, what a good group. What a solid crew of facilitators and people who knew the wheel really well, and people that were in the work for the very first time. It was a beautiful blend. And it was powerful. So there was a lot of sadness when I walked into the room that day. Because I was looking forward to going back to my reality, but I was like, I missed you. That's what I really wanted. I really wanted you there. I really wanted to see you like dancing around the room, working on your own stuff. Yeah. That's what I really fucking wanted. I just wanted you. Had a couple kids and them don't got looking like we're gonna get copywritten struck on this podcast.
Do not have the rights.
Sorry, Taylor Swift.
Because that was so...
Sorry, but I'm not. So I retract.
Yeah. So beautiful. I hope that there is manifesting a day and time, a point in time, I think is the phrase. We know me and phrases. I don't usually use
phraseology.
Use them correctly.
Welcome to Phraseology with Lauren.
I hope there is a point in time where we can facilitate training.
That'd be sick if they'll have us. If they'll have
whether
me, they'll have you. They're biased. They're biased toward you.
Whether it is...
I judge them so hard if they weren't. Me, I get it. We're like, yeah, I get it. But you? Oh, I'd be mad.
No, I love this
Ego
so much.
Ego.
Take my wife. No, not even like a pro training. Sure. I do think that I would be, just so ecstatic to get to work with other professionals in the space. And I hope for that day. Mm-hmm. But partnerships. I really hope that there's a time, and I'm so glad you learned about this farm, because wouldn't that be a fun space to also do some partner work? I just think that's starting to come together, and I think that it would just be really neat to spend just as many spacious days, whether it's in a place like that, whether it's, in our hometown and we've rented out just an ugly hotel ballroom. I just think that more human beings deserve to get to experience that type of learning, that it has been deconstructed and is so juicy because there is so much embedded choice. We learn so much in like a pro work to notice it, trust it, value it, and communicate it. And that the noticing effort that goes on in a space like that, the responsibility that you are trained to take for yourself to then put things forward, has been obviously revolutionary in our relationship. And for us to be able to pass on that education to other partnerships so they can use it in whatever way sits best in their body, right? It's a puzzle piece. And I love that all of our teachers with Wheel of Consent are always like, it's a framework, y'all. It's not applicable to everything, right? It is simply a modality. And it has just been a revolutionary modality for us. Especially, as simple as, who is this for? Who is this gift for?
Who's the gift for? And then may I will you?
Changes. Every day. I would say we use it every single solitary day.
Who's the gift for? May I will you is fucking life-changing for me. And how simple is that?
He's gotten so strong recently at saying things like, will you rephrase that as a may I or will you question? Which could be accosting, except I'm able to go inside and go, oh, yeah, is this for you or is this for me? Right? What is going on here? What is it that I really want? Right? Not, desire smuggling, not brinksmanship, not this idea of kind of being too scared to ask for what I want so that I get what I want.
That was one of our exercises where we grab the other one by the arm. Like, we just grab them, we jar them. Carmen showed all of us this one. You grab by the arm and you go, you knock it off.
Anyway, gonna restart the camera so
Knock
we can
it
go
off. That's Carmen. Carmen does that. She goes, you knock it off.
Second 30 minutes. Because we had a listener leave a really good comment or send a message. That's what they did. And you wanted to talk about it. Do you want to talk about that still?
Message.
A message. Okay. Do you want me to read or you want to just paraphrase?
Read. Will you read?
You will.
May you read?
We'll do that. Y'all, you're always welcome to send us messages because we love them.
Lauren reads them.
I do. Okay, so this was a DM. So shout out to this person who sent a DM. You all nailed it with the podcast. Trey did say, what every fit, moderately successful guy in his 40s in a long-term committed relationship feels but never says. This was in a recent podcast. He's, quote, I could walk out, find a 27-year-old female, and be a god in her mind, end quote. She would give me all the sex that I desire because I would make her feel desirable. I know how to give her the exact version of her reflected self that she wants to see. There would be tons of sex. The relationship would be everything I thought a relationship should be when I was in my 20s. It would be everything I've been told I want and nothing that I need. Hashtag shout out Trey.
Okay. And then nothing that I need. Is that for me or is that for the woman in this thing?
For me, yeah.
So that's for Trey.
I mean, I would also argue it's for the woman,
Shit,
but
yeah.
this is speaking from a male perspective.
Like,
this is a male-bodied person.
Would that stunt her as well, the 27-year-old in this scenario?
Of course it would.
Yeah.
Of course it would. Why did this hit you so deeply? Also, shout out to this audience member. You're brilliant. This was beautiful. Thank you.
I just find it, I've just been fascinated by why men and relationships around this time, because 7-year itch is a thing that you told me about. And yeah, why men stop their relationship and then go to a younger woman. I never really knew that it was about resetting a power dynamic. And then taking the mirror away, like not having to grow, not having to, What do you got?
Good old schnark.
Yeah, please, can you explain reflective?
Yeah, okay. Snark is huge on this idea that when we are not well self-defined, when we haven't defined who we are as a person, we are out there seeking a reflection of ourselves. We all do this, my friends, and we have all been conditioned to do this by society. We've all been conditioned to think, oh, what does he think of me? Right? The good old fashioned Daisy, right? He loves me not. He loves me not type of idea. Or what does my professor think of me? My coach, my director, my mom, my dad. What do they think of me? So many of us grew up deciding who we were by how it was being reflected to us, which is why, right, we get into these relationships and under illusion, and we are all illusioned, and we get in and we're like, oh, they love me and they reflect all these beautiful things to me. We have not defined ourselves, and this is okay. This is human nature. This is what we do, okay? But then a partner starts to grow, or a partner starts to not treat us in the way that we would like to be treated, and we have such a poor sense of self. We do not have our 4 points of balance under us. We are not strong and flexible. We do not know how to self-soothe. We do not know how to have a calm mind and a calm heart. We do not know how to tolerate endurance. Have meaningful endurance and tolerate discomfort for growth. We don't know how to do any of these things because we were never taught how to do any of these things. And we have actually a low sense of self-worth. And so we're like, hey, you tell me how great I am by reflecting it to me. Praise me, have sex with me, think well of me. And we put all the burden on them, not on ourselves. And so, yeah, When somebody's asking us to grow, for instance, in the way, okay, so we'll go back to the wing clipping adventure. If you had a poor sense of self, okay, and you needed me to reflect to you, to hold up a mirror to you that you are a good man, many things could have happened at the wing clipping moment, okay? When I'm sitting there with that listening turn and you're dumping all the stuff on me, okay? And then I had reacted in the way I had. You could have crumbled, or you could have gotten really mad at me, right? I'm such a good guy. You should be grateful to be in a relationship with me. You could have doubled down on the thing you did, because someone with a poor sense of self who needs their partner to reflect back to them that they're a good person cannot handle being called out, cannot handle somebody saying, this is not okay. Right? Grow with me or we're done. We're not going to treat each other like that in this relationship. No, because someone with a poor sense of self who needs that reflection back to them can't tolerate that discomfort. They are not strong and flexible. They do not know how to self-soothe. Not at all. And so what do? Yeah. No, they find someone who will make it about them. Oh, no, I mean, yeah, sure. I also could have just been like, oh, baby, you're so right. I don't date you well. You're so right. I do take care of everybody else better than you. I'm so sorry. That's what I did my entire first relationship. I'm so sorry. You're right. You're so right. Right? Holding up that mirror. Right? Let me reflect to you what you want to hear. Mm. So again, everything I want, nothing I need. Right? It would have been a great part of the story that you were telling yourself in your brain.
Yeah.
You know, you had made up this entire shadow narrative. And if I had just been like, oh, you're so right. We would have just gone on. Mm-hmm. That could have been an alternative, right? I could have sat there and been like, oh.
That's so interesting, where it would have been, I think, highly detrimental to me, because when you told me that I wasn't right and you showed objective fact, that was the antidote. That took me out of my shadow self. That took me out of my martyrdom and my, jealousy. It took me out of my, freedom-seeking, kind of hyper-independence at all costs, kind of burn it all down. Okay, so men, if they don't want to, reflective sense of self, and what's the other one?
Strong sense of self,
what's a
well-defined self.
Okay, what's Snark call it?
Self-definition. I mean, a well-defined self.
What's the 4 points of balance?
The 4 points of balance are a strong, flexible self, calm mind, calm heart. Sorry, just blanked out.
2 more points.
2 more points. I got this. The last one is meaningful endurance. And...
Okay, strong, flexible sense of self.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going to give those.
My bad.
Yeah,
okay, no. Okay, so if men don't want to work on their shit, mm-hmm. and then they'll stay where they are, or they'll go backwards, or they'll go back to a time that was more simple, or they'll literally try to time travel to 15 years ago where they met their person, and this was working for me, and I did it this way, and guess what? Now I'm even more successful in my career, and I have even more money and more options. And I don't know, financially, based on how it's structured, I'll either take a bath or I'll take a loss. And then I'll go back into the dating pool. And then I'll try to spiral back down to the shit that I was comfortable with versus go through the fire.
We've been talking about this.
Pardon, not really. And thank God that it wasn't something like adultery or heavy substance abuse or violence, like a big time betrayal. Thank God I weaponized a listening turn saying, you don't treat me well. Thank God it was that versus, I don't know, I fucked somebody else while high on cocaine and, or I hit you. Like what we did was easier to come back from than that. So how lucky am I that I got to go through what's the C word? Not cunt.
Critical mass, a point of critical mass.
Crucible.
The crucible.
Starts with a C, right? Not a K?
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell. So we went through that type of crucible. And I got to learn and get new skills and get with my people and learn what's true and learn what's not. And also stay in choice. I got to stay in choice of what do you want, Trey? Do you want to go? Do you want to leave? All it would take is this, this, and this, and this. We'd separate, find another place, sell the home. Lauren would be fine. You could go wherever you want. I got to go through all that. Mm-hmm. I don't think we ever talked about that internally. I got to go through, like, what does it look like to just chop it up and divide? She gets her friends. I get mine back, I guess, or something. And we go on our separate ways. I got to go through all that. So I got to be in choice. And I really got to, what do I want? And then it's always come back to the same thing where it's like, I'd rather just, I want to date Lauren. And it's like, do you like your life? It's like, I really like my life. Yeah, there's a couple of things I could change. Would you rather be in the Caribbean? Would you rather be in Europe? You've never even fucking seen Europe. Would you rather be there? Here we are.
Listening to you, I was struck by that if I had had, which I have in previous seasons, a weaker sense of self, a less defined sense of self, I would not have been able to hold the line in that moment. Which I also think is a fascinating part to consider of this audience member's comment, which is, this 27-year-old female in the story, gets to be defined by, this 40-year-old who sweeps in and gives her the sense of self, and you were leaning into this, that she wants to see. Mm-hmm. But I had to really call upon what I know about myself, and it was really hard, which is why I called in the big guns, right? Which is why I called in my team and said, I need you to tell me who I am. Am I this woman that I was just accused of being? I do not feel like this woman. Am I this woman? And they got to look me in the eyes and go, no, you're not this woman, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, good, right? How am I responding here? So that was the third one. So first point of balance, solid, flexible self. Second point of balance, quiet mind, calm heart. Third point of balance, grounded responding. Fourth point of balance, meaningful endurance. My work to shore up those 4 points of balance in myself so that I can be an exceptional partner to you. So that when you do falsely accuse me of things because of stories in your head, which we all do, my loves, like this is not just a Trey. No, we all do that shit. We all tell ourselves stories. And sometimes they're shadowy. But it is up to us and me in this instance to say, is that me? No. No. And I don't rely upon Trey's reflection of me to tell me who I am. And this might have been one of the first times in our partnership that I was able to go, no. That I was able to express anger. That I was able to say, that is not okay. Without going to like this pit of despair first.
Yeah, adaption.
Yeah. I still got to sadness, right? And my coach like had to get me in a rage space. And that was the fastest turnaround that I've ever had. And I was just sitting here thinking, yeah, to your earlier point, everybody feels better when, this 40-year-old abandons the relationship that holds up a mirror to him and says, hey, bud, you got to do better. When he abandons that shit and goes to the younger human developmentally, who is just developmentally not on the same wavelength, who has not seen his ugly in the same way a long-term partner has, and is going to be okay with less.
Also, I need to say this too, where one size does not fit all, where some relationships just need to fucking end.
Oh my gosh,
I don't know everyone's personal story. I have no idea. So we're just using it in this scenario, in this archetype of,
No. And what's really neat about this fourth point of balance is the meaningful endurance is not enduring and tolerating. It is tolerating discomfort in the spirit of growth. If you are not seeing growth, no. I always tell people uncoupling to me is very akin to a cesarean section in the childbirth experience. I would love for everyone to have a vaginal birth. It's great for the baby. It is great for the person delivering the baby. It's grand. And yet, sometimes we need a C-section, and I am so glad they exist. I am so glad. Divorce saved my life. No, all relationships are not meant to last forever. I don't think there's any you deserve some award for the relationship that lasts forever that is also abusive or also unsafe or also not nourishing for all parties. Let me be very clear. Thank you. We tolerate discomfort for growth. We endure when it is meaningful, when we are seeing accountability be taken, when we are seeing change. I also want to follow that up with, not all 40-year-old to 27-year-old relationships are a mess. They're not. There are some people where developmentally that aligns really well. Really well. We've got somebody who has just finally woken up at 40. I don't care your gender or your orientation. And we've got somebody who has always been advanced, maybe because of their own childhood trauma, who has been working on shit and is really looking for someone who's also working on shit. And they meet at the right time in the right place, and 40 and 27 aligns, and they sharpen each other, and they do not provide a reflective sense of self. They are both on their own selves, and they are working towards the same goals. It is not always a malalignment. This was purely a case study of a 40-year-old who abandons the relationship, who shows him himself. Because he doesn't want to see that shit.
Or he runs for some shit, I'm assuming. Not dealing with his own stuff.
Yes.
I don't know, cheating, substance abuse, workaholism, like not wanting to change his behavior when he's like being, eventually
Yeah. So thank you for clarifying that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an exercise for me if I didn't want to change my behavior or if I doubled down on my stuff.
Yes.
And then like what would it look like for me to cash out? Because Lauren's 40. She's old. And for me to get, reset the power dynamic. Yeah.
It's interesting too, right? We talk a lot about lust and limerence in this space. And that early stage relationship is full of lusty limerence, full of symbiosis, full of great hormonal compounds that are to die for. They are so lovely and juicy. And juvenile developmentally. I tell every client when they're like, well, wait, but how do I make sure that this is a good person? And I don't want to get lost in lust and limerence. And I'm like, oh, baby, enjoy lust and limerence. It is juicy. Yeah. It is really wonderful. It is an state of illusionment. And yet Schnark is so clear to be like, God bless illusionment. We would never be getting into relationships if we weren't slightly illusioned, because this is hard stuff. Right? The disillusionment will come. But what's so cool is, and I have said this about you so many times, we can, if we desire to, start to implement patterns and ways of relating and ways of communicating while we're in that lusty limerence stage, so that as the rose-colored glasses come off, because they will, we can look across at the other person and go, oh, I like your habits. I like the communication tools that we have established. Oh, I like how you respect me. Oh, this is lovely. Okay, we have our bearings. We have our team. We have our people. Okay, let's keep doing this. And let's also be okay with the fact that you're human. Every person who gets into a relationship is human. They're not going to be perfect. They're not. But how we take accountability and how we repair says so much about us. So much.
Yeah, we're going to fuck up, but how we repair is what's going to define us. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Right. Yeah.
100%.
How well we take care of ourselves and then how well we take care of each other and then the tools that we go get is what defines us. And then wanting to constantly learn and not being entitled because we're in relationship and like you can't go anywhere. Yeah, death do us part is scary.
Scary.
Yeah, like having a lot of religious, like having an overbearingly religious relationship is scary because that death do us part seem to go hand in hand. And yeah, we don't have that relationship, but I feel the trap of entitlement, the trap of you're not going anywhere is fucking scary. And then this is a different topic of conversation, but men will be like, I don't get enough sex, or she doesn't want to have sex. And to what you say, maybe she just doesn't want to have that type of sex. Maybe she doesn't want to have a quickie. Also, I'm just speaking to the straight men out there. Maybe you're, I don't know, out of shape and a douchebag now. And if that hit a chord, let me know. I'd be happy to tell you to your face.
Yeah. We talked a lot last time about the difference between responsive desire and spontaneous desire, about how arousal comes before desire. And right, the curiosity that it takes to continue to learn about things like desire in long-term relationships, right? Our book is literally called, this Schnark book that we're reading, Intimacy and Desire, right? There is so much juiciness still to be uncovered. I think partnership is, this thing that we are taught from young ages that like, you're not complete until you're in partnership. And I don't believe that bullshit. I think that we can live perfectly wonderful lives unpartnered. And if you have chosen partnership, it's really cool how it sharpens you and puts you through seasons of a crucible and grows you and becomes you. And it's so freaking awesome.
And there's a lot of advantage and privilege on chosen partnership as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you choose right. There's a lot of joy. So those three things.
Yeah.
Advantage, privilege, joy.
And I was thinking about it as you were talking, and we can end on this note. I was saying to a client yesterday that even if we have chosen to be involved in a purely monogamous marriage between one man and one woman that really parallels the Christian or religious marriages that were so important to family structures for years, I still think it is really important to inspect compulsive monogamy. I think it is still really important to read books like Polysecure, to really understand the difference between the type of chosen partnership that you are placing yourself in and property ownership of times gone by. I think that no matter what level of monogamy you are choosing in this world, you should be researching the origins of the relationship structure that you're in, because I think it is wildly freeing. And as I was hearing Trey go through so much of what he was saying about, us moving apart and all of these types of things, I'm like, yeah, because these are conversations that go on always between us of, you don't own me, I don't own you, right? This whole like, well, to death do us part, she's not giving me sex. There's elements of ownership inside of all of that.
And entitlement.
Yes, that is disgusting. And I understand where it comes from. So we owe it to ourselves to really dig up those roots and decide what types of partnerships we want to be in. We'll end on that note. You got me all riled. Good thing I get to go do this all day. Thanks for coming to our episode of the Partnership Podcast. Please remember, as Trey said often, these are our opinions and our opinions only. These are things that we flesh out. You have a right to self-determination and informed decision making. If something that we chatted about really intrigued you and you're like, well, she doesn't know Schnark's 4 points of balance very well, but I do want to ask her other things, you can go to sexedforyou.com/free consult. I would love to chat with you and tell you about my work and how I work with people. Please like, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. We are almost, friends, at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. After years of this work, slow but steady, which is an exciting milestone. So it means a lot when you like and share and all that juicy stuff. Leave your comments below. I read them all. I answer them. Trey does not. Somebody complimented our chairs the other day. Which, do you remember how contentious
Lauren
these chairs
picked those
were?
out. Lauren picked those out.
Trey was like, we can't have rotating chairs, and we got
for years. I was like, no, not rotating chairs. Yeah, we're fine.
They're lovely. Anyway, have a great day, guys.
Please comment below that Lauren doesn't know what she's talking about. That would delight me.
Never. You don't know those 4 points of balance, Lauren. Bye.
Bye.